Good evening. My name is Carol Chalmers Deese. Sanford, North Carolina, the Black Wall Street Connection will produce a 20 to 30-minute podcast this Sunday at 3 p.m., February 25th, 2024. The legendary Sylvester Lee, he was also called JAP Turner, will be showcased. Mrs. Cora Fox McIver suggested that Mr. Turner be showcased for Black History Month, and I learned a lot about a man I did not know. He was featured in the Hometown News, July 2019. Owner of this magazine was the late Alexander Brower. The caption, Remembering Sylvester Lee Turner. This magazine, among other pictures, was shared by Mrs. Barbara Turner when several of Mr. Turner's mentees gathered at the home of JAP and Mrs. Barbara Turner to discuss their memories of this great man.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, but he did serve in Japan.
Okay, I do notice that kind of about his eye, so that's why he was called JAP.
Yeah. That's what I know.
You know what?
That makes sense.
I guarantee you, I was 20-something years old before I realized what his real name was.
Mm-hmm. They call him JAP.
Everybody called
him JAP.
That's right.
So the idea of Black people, which I hear a lot, don't know how to swim.
They don't till
today. But what was JAP doing?
JAP teaching us.
He was making sure you all
were equipped.
were equipped.
That's right.
But not only were we equipped, but it also taught us how to associate with other Black children.
Yeah.
Because
we taught them what we knew too.
That's all we had.
Yeah, we passed.
We couldn't go to the white part. They kept you out of there. So we had to go to the only place where we were us.
That's right.
And that was Washington Park.
Sure was.
And with him being
we
there,
had a ball too.
and with him being there, he taught us how to get along with each other.
Lord, yeah.
You know,
Sure
we didn't
did.
have a bunch of fussing and fighting. Like I said, when we went on that activity bus, we went to Gilmore Terrace.
And
we
you-
had to
you
meet
was
at a
showing
certain
up right,
time.
Lynn.
We left at a certain time. When he say sit down, we sat down. When he say get up, we got up. There was no, like I said, no fuss and fighting. We had each other, and that's all that was important to us coming up as a Black race was each other, family. All of us was family.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember him and Frank not being in my life.
I can't even.
You know,
Me
he was
either.
at Miss McLean on Wall Street. I grew up on Wall Street, so we knew each other. There was no such thing as this person is and this family. We were all family. So with Jap being the center of that, because I don't know where the other grown people was. I don't know. I don't remember anybody but Jap. Do you? When we was at the
Right.
Recreation Center,
nobody
I
but
don't
him.
remember. But him
Nobody.
taking that bus
He
to
was the
kids.
only one.
I wouldn't take a bus load of teenagers nowhere now for nothing.
And the thing that was most important is you had to actually pass my house to get to Washington Avenue, and none of us drove.
That's right.
We all walked
Either
That's
on
right.
the bicycle.
on the bicycle. That's it.
wagon one.
And you walk down Washington Avenue and up the hill and through the bottom.
That's right.
And
That's
even though
exactly right.
the bottom was supposed to be the bad part of town, they didn't bother you when you went through the bottom because they knew you were going up to see Jeff.
Right.
Going to watch them.
Yeah,
Going
you
to the
knew you were
pool.
going to watch the
And
park,
no
going
problem.
to swim.
And we didn't do it out of being, we done it out of respect.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Respect. It wasn't because we were scared of him and that.
Right.
We done it for
We
yes,
respect
sir.
him, that's right.
No, sir. Just the other week, and he here to verify. He came to me and told me, he said, you are a legend.
Yeah.
And told me, he said, you have followed Sylvester's footsteps in teaching the kids in the neighborhood, and all the kids mentoring to you, coming to you, you helping them out and doing this for them and whatever. And he told me this just been 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask him for. He just come up to my car and put his hand on my truck and said, I just want to thank you, Frank,
Yeah.
for being in my life.
That's right.
And I said,
Yeah,
well,
I
you
can't-
know,
Give you your flowers while you're living. And somebody has to carry that torch for our young people. We need to do that.
Yeah,
Our
we gotta
young
carry
people
it.
need people to look up to.
And I can never ever remember him ever raising his voice.
Never.
I can't
He
ever remember
never
him.
raised it.
Never.
So
Raised it.
that
He
never.
talked in a monotone tone. The entire,
That's
even if he was fussing you out for something you did.
Well, you know
it was
better than that.
an
That's
even
right.
keel tone.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he made me feel bad just talking to me.
And then we had did something and saw him coming. Oh, buddy.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, Lord, we
Jesus.
get in a straight line. He never knew we had done that because the other kids, guys wouldn't tell it, you know. It'd be just like when he left us, we'd be the same way. Maybe some of us, like me and Tap, you know, I'm older than Tap.
Yeah.
Or Tap and somebody got in a little argument, something. When they saw Jap, it wasn't an argument, it wasn't nothing. It was all clear.
Yeah, that's right. We made up and everything.
It'd be good to go. We were good to go.
Exactly.
You know, that's what we did.
And we
honored it.
didn't fight with each other like they do now. With Jap, and Jap, this may be a bad word, but Jap had control without being in control.
Yeah.
You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
His demeanor insisted on you being in control,
That's right.
and so his presence demanded respect. That's the thing that I liked about Jeff. He was, and people don't say, but he was funny too. He was sure enough funny. Oh Jesus, he was funny.
He had a sense of
And
He did have a sense of humor.
So
He
did.
dealt with us. He had to have.
Right.
Yeah, at one time, you know, was settling down, and they needed a pool manager over at the White Pool. And he told me, he said, Frank, that's what he said. And I said, what? I don't want, he said. And I said, okay. So I went over there and had to take the test. There was 32 people there. And I come out number 3 in the class with one leg.
Yeah.
With one leg, with amputated, have an amputated leg. He said, I told you, boy. You know,
believe in yourself.
I taught you. And when he told me that, it was all over. I went over there and banged them up. Banged them up. And then they made me pool manager over the whole park.
But you know, even
White
with
folk.
him teaching you how to swim, that lesson, and I would have jumped up and started screaming. but by you going in that water, you didn't know you could swim.
I didn't.
But he
Right.
taught you, oh yes, you can do this.
He showed. That's right.
And so by
Yes,
him
you
throwing you in
can.
that water,
Yes,
like
you
you said,
can.
with throwing you in a tube or whatever, he taught you to
Yeah.
believe in
He
yourself.
sure did.
That you are capable of doing more than you think you are. And so that's something we have to look at too. That even though he taught us respect, he taught us to believe in ourselves, he taught us to have control over our emotions because we said we didn't fuss or fight. So it was a whole lot of lessons in what he taught us too.
Sure was.
We can look back now and wish some of these things that he taught us, I wish we could pass it on to the next
Yeah.
generation, or we should have passed it on,
Right.
because we were taught that you respect. That's what I'm saying. Just to go somewhere and just to have that one person there in control of that many young people without a bunch of fussing, fighting, arguing, any of it. I don't know how he did it, but it was managed.
But he did it.
You know
He
that
did.
difference.
And you didn't wander off nowhere either. If we go conversation, we ain't going nowhere. We
No.
stayed together. You had to ask
When
him,
That's
"Can I
right.
go
That's
get
right.
from the concession stand?" You just didn't go over there on your own and be, you know, monkey by it. You know,
That's
if
right.
he tell you to go, you can go. And then he would say, 1, 2, 3, you 3 go. And come back.
Yeah, I
you
remember
3 go
that.
next.
Right.
Well, we never went to one gathering at one time to buy anything when we was away from home. We went in 3s. So, you know, some kids not bunch up and all over the place, and nobody never took nothing.
Can't
Nothing.
find it. No.
Well,
It
no such
didn't
thing as
belong
steal.
to you.
You better not steal
We
with
didn't know what a gun was.
Sure
We
did.
didn't know what no gun
No,
was.
no,
Only thing we
none
knew
of that
about was gun
violence
arrows.
now. That's right.
We know about no gun and killing nobody and fighting and cussing. No.
But you know what? You know what's funny? The day he passed, I don't think Jap ever knew my real name.
Probably did.
What do you call you?
By my nickname, I ain't gonna tell you what my
Mo.
nickname is.
Don't worry about Mo. That's exactly right. Yeah,
he
he
knew
knew it
that we
was.
would respect him.
Right.
Because of what he did and the way he did it. Now, Miss Turner is totally different. I still call her Miss Turner. Still call her
Went
Miss
to
Turner.
school. It was
Did you
always
used to
this
teach
time.
at East?
Yes.
And
Do you
Judge
remember
Lee Wilson.
Darren or Darnell Prince? Darnell Prince. That's Anthony's son. That would be Shirley Prince's
Prince.
son. The reason I was asking him if he remembered Sylvester, but he did not.
Right.
But then I said, but his widow is Mrs. Turner, Barbara, right?
That's right.
And he says, did she teach at East Lee?
Uh-huh.
And I said, I'll ask her. So that's why I'm asking you, because he
Right.
knows you.
Right.
And
I
Darren
like
is
to know
probably,
his face, but I don't know his name.
Darren is probably 50, I guess he's in it 52 or something now. But
I would recognize his face.
yeah, but it's just wonderful that the memories that you all remember.
Are things that you leave that people remember.
Memories.
Everything JAP did stayed. Whether he encouraged you playing baseball, whether he encouraged you swimming, whether he taught you swimming, whether he made you a lifeguard, it stayed. It stayed because of his character. Not you, but the way he did it and the way he projected himself upon you.
Yeah.
He didn't force himself on you. He just came into your life.
So
That's it.
did.
He was a Mason. He was an Army man. This is where, when he worked at the Department of Sports and Recreation in Sanford.
I don't think there was nobody in the county, in the surrounding area, could outdive none of the guys that he had taught.
That's right.
I mean, they could do Olympic dives and everything. They were just
And was good
amazing.
at it. They sure was.
Amazing. I worked there 27 years. And
most-
never lost the soul, never lost the body.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
And it does not matter if you were black and you were old enough, no child got on the high dive unless JAP told you to.
That's right.
And,
Sure
and
right.
we were fortunate enough to get on the high dive because we could dive and we could swim.
Yeah.
But the younger folks, my younger brothers and them, they stayed on the low dive.
Yeah.
They knew how to swim, but they couldn't swim like we could.
Yeah.
Mrs. Turner looked from person to person that evening, amazed at all her husband had done. She stated she had no idea her husband had done so much. She also said she wasn't a public person and she really didn't want to be interviewed, but we got a snap of her grinning and being very happy that evening.
Your eyes supposed to be upon whomever you're watching. You can't watch walking around somewhere else.
Right.
You know, so he made it so one would be in the chair and have another one walking, looking at all times.
That's right.
And he
Never
was
lost
watching
nobody.
And
you.
they lost nobody.
They
That's
lost
right.
one person, and that was the day that I was off. And they lost that person because they panicked, but they wasn't working for me. Then they panicked. And the guy that was there, he was a little rowdy kind of guy. And I told him, don't let him go across the 11-foot water.
Right. Cross
And
them
he
ropes.
went over there. Anyway, what he done, he got up under the chair and just sat there for 30 minutes. They not paying him attention. So he slid on down, got down in the water, and slid himself all the way down to the 11 foot. So when he got down there on his elbow, he turned loose and went to the bottom. But if he had been taught to swim, he could have made it back. All he had to do was let his feet touch the bottom
And come
and
right
sprang
back
right
up.
back up.
Right back
But he
up.
panicked. And when he panicked, they didn't see him. And he had been underwater 5 or 10 minutes. And he was brain oxygen off his brain. But there was a different group of guys.
Yeah,
then.
different-
One under
yeah,
our
different
supervision,
lifeguards.
we didn't do none of that. None of that.
That wasn't in your
No.
under
No.
your
We didn't do
jurisdiction.
none
No,
of
they wasn't on his watch.
Gilmore Terrace. Now we probably will try to go by there and take a picture of that. It's still
It is not like it used to be.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I have to make sure that you understand. Gilmore Terrace is nowhere near the way it used to be.
But the building is
The
still
still the building is still there.
Richardson.
But Gilmore Terrace itself was more than just that building.
I understand.
Remember the
Yeah.
baseball field?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Remember in Dot's house we used to hit the. But Gilmore
There are no
Terrace
activities
itself,
there. Any
yeah,
activities there?
the Gilmore Terrace itself meant more than what it does now, because we had the opportunity of going through Gilmore Terrace when it was a baseball field, when it was a basketball field, when it was a football field. All these things have gone through Gilmore Terrace.
Yeah.
With us, it was a home away from home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Played
And
cards
we could go
over
to
there,
yeah.
bid whiz, domino, everything. It was just like it was a recreation center.
Table. It was a true recreation center.
And your parents knew where you were. You were at one or two places.
Yeah.
Washington Park or Gilmore Terrace. That was it. And you didn't go nowhere else.
And when it got dark,
Lord, that much we ain't gonna talk about getting dark.
You were home. You were home.
You had to beat the street lights home.
Oh boy, I ran a many days
Lord
trying to
have
be dog.
that's
Trying to beat
right.
the street light home.
Better not
When
be
the
out
street
there
lights
after
come on, you
dark.
better be home. In the house. Not coming in the house.
Not
In
be
the
out
house.
there after dark. You right, Frank.
And nobody laughed at you because everybody had to run
Everybody,
to be home before
yeah.
dark.
All
So
of
it
them.
wasn't like somebody else could stay out longer.
That's right. Had to be
You
there.
know,
With
children
respect.
need
Yeah.
discipline, and children need an authoritative mentor in their lives, because a lot of people think it's good to let kids do what they want, but no, you are respected. Your parents, I'm finding,
Yeah.
and JAP, because these were people that demanded your respect, and you respected them, and you did what you were supposed to do. And all I can say is some parents will try to appease their children, let them do what they want.
Be their friend.
Be their friend. I'm glad you
There
said it,
you
because that's
go.
exactly where
That's
I was
exactly
going.
right.
And really, kids, you think they might want that, but they really don't deep down. They really don't.
That's not what they need.
That's not what they need.
No.
Actually,
And they will respect you
Mm-hmm.
down the road for being given the structure. And I think you kind of mentioned it a minute ago about when you were telling him you were glad he was in your life
Yeah,
because of
most definitely.
yeah.
Well, all of us
And give him his
are
flowers.
better off for jail.
Yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that. I know I'm better off for jail. I
And
can't
if he
speak
had
for
lived
nobody
on,
else.
if he had lived on and wellness would have kept him on, we wouldn't have as many kids going in that revolving door
Sure would.
downtown
That's
or in
exactly
the grave.
right.
We got 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23-year-old in the grave or in jail now. We never went, we ain't go to no jail, no,
Lord,
none
no.
of that. None of that happened
We
to
had to
us.
go deal with
None of
jail.
that. So his revolving door kept us
We had to
alert.
deal,
on
we
the
had to
ground.
deal with
We
that
never
still small
had
voice.
to do none of that. It had just went on. But God seen other provisions for him. So if he had, and the kids now would have been under his leadership, it would be a different Sanford, North Carolina.
And even with
Sure
us talking,
would.
even
You're right
with
too,
us
Frank.
saying this about JAP now, it should give us something to think about. That are we dropping the ball? Should we pick up the piece that we need to pick up for the next generation? If we can take one or two kids up under our wing, can we
Yeah.
not do the same things that he did?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
not a busload.
Yeah.
But let's take two. Let's take two of them
Yeah, I
at a
got
time.
three. I done took three. I adopted three.
Right, so
in
you
my
got
life,
three.
yeah.
If he got three, I got three, you got three.
Yeah.
We can make a difference. It's
Sure
not
can.
like because his legacy can still live on. We can still do past what he did. So,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, the generation and everything is different. But if you do something with these young people, even like the recreation center, he
Yeah.
said it's not the same. It's not the same because we're not making it the same. We can go in there. We can go in there and try to make a difference in that recreation center. Go over there and say, what are we doing here for Black History Month or something? Somebody would pick it up, just like you call us. We
Yeah.
picked it up and said, oh yeah, we know JAP. So we can make a difference with just a little bit.
Thank you, Mrs. Turner, for sharing your home and archives of past employee at the Sanford Parks and Recreation Department, among other outstanding contributions, awards like the Elks Club, the Masons, and service to our country and to the youth in the city of Sanford. Thank you, Sanford, for listening, and see you during the monthly Sunday Sanford podcast.